More on the Soweto protest. In studio is Miss Gillian Pillay, who's been following the story for us today. Gillian, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Good afternoon, Leisha.
Gillian, in a nutshell, why were the Soweto residents protesting? What were some of their main grievances?
There's a range of grievances. You will remember, Leisha, that government is slowly moving away from an old conventional system to a system in which customers can be more in control of accounts like electricity accounts. What we've seen in recent years is that municipalities are being owed exorbitant amount of monies from the taxpayer. And now they're looking at a system where we as consumers can be, we could be in charge of our own accounts, and that they can also, get their money back from consumers. There's basically a deadlock right now. The residents are saying, we will not pay for services like electricity. If it means we must be in the dark for however long, that's what we be prepared to do. And naturally, Eskom, because it's a new system, they are not budging. So it's, it's like a deadlock. The community is saying we will continue protesting. So what we saw in that clip is likely to continue in the coming days. And, a protest, it builds up, and then it naturally becomes quite violent. So that is where we're at right now. They gave the memorandum to Eskom last month. Among the things that they wanted was a flat rate of something like 250 for pensioners and people on social grants. And for other normal residents, they wanted to pay something like 400 Rand, and 400 Rand for the whole month for electricity. Eskom obviously couldn't accept that offer.
Gillian, this is very interesting. Did you manage to speak to anybody from Eskom? I mean, did they educate and inform the residents well before the meters were installed? What's their reaction to the current protest now? Because we've seen similar incidents when these meters were first introduced in the same area, and the residents actually pulled those meters out. Any likely threats of this happening in the same area that you visited today?
To answer your question, yes, we have spoken to Eskom. What Eskom is saying is we will not budge. We can't submit to the demands of a small community within the country. We are rolling out these systems irrespective of whether you like it or not. And we're giving you, the consumer, this responsibility to be able to manage your account. That's what Eskom is saying. The community doesn't want to hear that. So, yes, it's also a move towards more an educational type of system where we could also save electricity, where we are at in terms of load shedding.
Yes.
And how vulnerable the system is, particularly during winter. And that's also what Eskom is trying to get across to communities. Let's work together, let's work towards a more saving electricity type of regime as opposed to what we've had in the past.
So it's a bit of a tough love approach in
Very
terms
tough
of
love approach. And like you said, it's not the first community that has resisted against the system. We could likely see, as you asked now, we could likely see the resistance moving towards pulling out of these meters.
Absolutely.
And, with that is a lot of costs on government's part.
Gillian, I just read a couple of weeks ago that there was about 10 billion Rand of outstanding municipal debt owed to Eskom. But were the police there keeping guard? Was the protest non-violent when you left?
What Eskom has told us, just to get back to the official part of it, municipalities are owing Eskom 8 billion Rand. 8 billion Rand is a lot of money. Of that 8 billion Rand, Soweto residents owe the municipality, owe Eskom 4 billion Rand. Police, it was a very peaceful protest. The residents didn't want violence. They just wanted someone to take notice of this situation. Police were very vigilant, and I'm sure they're still going to keep quite a close watch on the area. Now that residents have said we won't pay for electricity, we're prepared to be in the dark for however long we need to be.
So there is no solution basically in the interim.
There's a deadlock now.
All right, Gillian, thank you so much for your time here on PM News. That's Gillian Pillay right here in studio with us, giving us the latest details on the protests against smart electricity meter boxes in Soweto.